Autistic rants are best kept short, sweet, and sultry. John Johnson is back from his lengthy divorce battle and is determined to hit back at normalized social agendas. He is hell-bent on making the world a better place by dismantling one shitty propaganda at a time. This is the Bendermaxx Talk Show with your host, John Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another short episode of the Bendermaxx Talk Show. I know it's been a while since I uploaded the last one because, as you can see, I've been traveling and I lost my divorce case, So my wife took my home and she took the fucking power cables. So as you can see, I'm sitting in the dark and I'm someplace else. And the studio is under renovation because a fucking meth head drove his car through the studio last time. So we are currently, between places for this production. So the last episode I talked about the collective social nihilism of the people or the society and how it continues to destroy us as a civilization and how it continues to get its grip on our cultural and social destiny. But now today I want to talk about something for a little bit of time. I want to talk about something that's like, have you guys ever noticed this thing where Hollywood and this pop culture, books, all this silly billy shit, they always put this narrative forward, and they target mostly young men and young women who can be manipulated easily, and they say this narrative, it's like this: you regret 100% of the things that you didn't say. And this message is very prevalent across pop culture shit and media, movies and TV shows, like a lot of these rom-com shit where it's like, oh, you miss or you regret 100% of the things that you didn't say, so do it, say it please. Well, I am here to tell you that you will regret 100% of the things that you did say. And I say this with absolute certainty and with absolute proof. You see, movies like this or like programming like this, they say this message to fucking fuck with your head. They say this to just get inside your head and just shake things up in there. And due to this programming, I have seen a lot of people fall into this shithole where it's like they have this liking to a girl. And I'm taking the examples of a guy or a man in this case because I am a man and I have done this before, and it took me a long time to figure out what the fuck I was doing wrong and why the fuck is messaging like this really harmful for the people. So a lot of people, they might have a crush or a liking to a girl, and she might not have the same feelings back, and it would be really obvious because there is more than one way to actually gauge the interest of another person. It would be very evident in their body language, it would be very evident in the way they speak to us, like vocal tones, characteristics, blah blah blah, whatever. But there is more than one way to gauge the interest of a person, to see if they actually like us back, or if they are ready to jump into something with us. A lot of men or young men, this is very prevalent in young men, a lot of young men, they might be friends with this girl for a while, or they have known her for a while or something, but just because they have a crush and just because of narratives like this, like, you have to tell her, otherwise you will regret this later on in life when you are 90 and you're dying of fucking tuberculosis, you will look back on this day in particular, and you will wonder yourself, why didn't I say that? And this kind of programming will cause these young men to go and tell their feelings to these girls. And more often than not, what happens is, the woman who didn't ask for this, she will retort in a pretty negative way, or she will slap them across the face, or she will kung fu kick across these motherfuckers across the face, and they'll leave. Most of the time, this doesn't work out because most times you shouldn't say what pops into your head. You shouldn't say. because your mind is like a fucked up palace. And believe me, you guys are not special, or you guys are not fucking unique just because these feelings come to you. It's not like everyone is dying to hear what you feel. See, you have to gauge the other person effectively before you say things like this. I'm not saying you have to feel things after you gauge them. No, no, no. You will feel things because we are human. But to express that, to put it into writing, yeah, it would be better to actually understand where the other person is coming from. What happens when you say this, when you follow this retarded Hollywood advice like oh, please say it, you say that and the other person doesn't respond to a degree that you anticipated. What ends up happening is you slowly start resenting them. You in your head, in your fucking cylindrical silly billy head, what you will feel, like not immediately but afterwards as a form of justification, what you will feel is, huh, I bore my heart out to you, but you rejected that? How dare you? Like, who told you to go and say that in the first place? You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. It's not a written rule that every time you feel something in your mind, you have to go and communicate that with the other person. You don't have to do that. You shouldn't do that. You don't regret 100% of the things that you didn't say. What you end up regretting is the things that you do say. If you keep listening to these silly billy Hollywood freaks, you will regret the things that you say, and the woman is not going to respond by, oh, I've been waiting for you to tell me this all along. No, 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 no. What ends up happening is she will go to the nearest police station, she will file a fucking FIR, and you will be sent to fucking Tihar jail or something. So don't do this shit. Don't listen to Hollywood messages. Don't listen to any sort of messages that comes out of this pop culture machinery or this mass media machinery. Don't listen to any of it. As a person, you have to be adjusted sociologically and on a grander scale of the society to actually understand where other people are coming from. Now, I'm not saying this as a form of a liberal take. I'm saying saying this message as a way to somehow set things straight. And another thing that I want to say is, I blame movies, Hollywood, but at the same time, I also blame books. Oh, I know. I like to read. Oh, I like to read. I like to read a lot. I read 3,000 books a year. Bill Gates, he has a 2,000 book must read list. Well, first of all, no CEO ever reads books. No CEO ever reads books. Because do you think that a person who needs 4 different PAs to handle his day to day task has time to read? No. It's a lie. It's a myth. And most often, the books written by these CEOs, they didn't write it, somebody else did. These books are trash. These books are shit. These books are like this: I am a self-made man. I am a self-made man. Ignore the fact that my mother was a VP at fucking Morgan Stanley and Chase or fucking JP Morgan. I don't know. I don't give a shit. But yeah, these are the kind of books. And the books that I'm talking in particular are the books like, these mass produced books on demand that claims that they are helping people, or self-help books, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Yeah, that's a good one. And like Shoe Dog and shit like this. The only person you are helping with these books are the authors by making them filthy rich. That is their that is their scheme. I'm just going to pump something that these anxiety ridden motherfuckers want to hear. It is not going to cure anything for them, but I'm going to make millions out of it, and my anxiety is done. So it's what they do. They don't give you any sort of constant framework for life. They don't give you any sort of know-how on how to get over certain obstacles in your life. They don't give you any generalized knowledge which you can then manipulate and adapt into various social circumstances to get over these obstacles that you might face. No. What they give you is highly contextualized knowledge that can be used in specific context. And if those contexts or if those instances doesn't happen to you, that knowledge that you gain from them is fucking useless. It's not useless for them because they have already made money out of your goofy ass, but you know what I mean. So yeah, Don't fall into these mass produced propaganda. There's a point in life where you have to sit down, take a good look at yourself, send your mind into the deepest darkest corners of your murky head and figure out who are you, what would you like to be, and how can you get there. And trust me, with enough introspection and with some reliable, I'm not saying you have to rely on a guide for everything in life, but you you might need a guide for some things, but with enough introspection and enough self awareness, you can get out of, or you can figure your way through 90% of the things in life. The rest, yeah, maybe find somebody. Don't go to fucking Phil Knight and Shoe Dog to actually understand what life is. Don't read the biographies of fucking Bill Gates and all of these people thinking that you're gonna be just like them. And for fuck's sake, stop consuming media so much. And this is a short rant that I wanted to make. And in the coming episode, it's going to be a phone-in show where I'm going to be, a lot of the community members have reached out to me for advice, and I'm going to be speaking with them, or I'm going to be addressing the concerns that they will be having. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. And without further ado, this has been Bendermaxx, and I'm your host, John Johnson, premier journalist, absolute gamer, survivor of the Algerian civil war or Algerian battle for independence, and yeah, soon to be drunk. So thank you, and I hope to see you guys again real soon.